what's up? It's me again. It's you again. Thanks for checking out this review for the Mass Effect 3 Bioware Edition Commander Shepard, or FemShep, Bishoujo statue from Kotobukiya. Man, it's a mouthful. This is how they come in the box. If you get them out of the case, or if, you get them relatively unmolested, you get this kind of tissue paper wrapping to protect the whole thing, which is nice. If you want to keep it that way, you can keep it a little better shape without scratching it up. It's appreciated. That's the kind of little things that Kotobukiya does to, for collectors. Anyway, let's open it up, take a look. Hey, so here she is. My little turntable here is very small. It's solar powered, and I never really intended to use it for reviews. Some figures they work for, some it doesn't. But the ones that come on these clear bases seem to work out pretty well. I've got my allergies really bad. That's why my voice is all messed up. You might excuse me if I cough or clear my throat. Anyway, so this is a really great Bishoujo statue. I guess they're all pretty good, but amongst Bishoujo, this one stands out to me. It's probably the most serious of them. There's nothing kind of I don't know, silly or cute or playful about it. Playful's probably a good word to describe Bishoujo in general. Most of them have some element of kind of playfulness, where she's a little more, this is Commander Shepard, for crying out loud. She's not playful, or he, or whoever. Speaking of which, I never really got into Mass Effect. I did play the first game, and I did create my Shepard. It was a female with short dark hair, so that's somewhat appropriate here. But I really got into the rest of the game. But more than enough for me to want to get this figure. So all kinds of nice detail to be had on this figure. Let's get some better views of it here. You can see on her back that kind of detail accent that goes down her spine. I really dig that. I don't know if there's a name for that pattern, but I really like it. Her face is washing out a little bit. It's a little... Everything else about her is dark except for her face and her skin. But we'll get a good, nice clear shot of that in a second. Just kind of wanted to get everything in here so that we cover all our bases. I don't want to leave anything unseen. But they did a really good job of sculpting this and refining this design from Shunya's original illustration. I have no idea how their process works. I don't know if they go to Shunya and say, hey, draw this character, and then they just go off of what he draws. I don't know how much input they give him, how much control he has, and then how much of his design they're obligated to use. But this is clearly, a Shunya design. There's no doubt about that. But if it had been refined, I wonder who does the refinement. Maybe Gil, the dude that sculpted it. That's kind of what it seems like to me. I need to go to a Kotobukiya panel one of these days. Hopefully they have one at Comic-Con this year, so I'll definitely be checking that out. Get some of these questions asked. If I do go, if that happens, if there's a Kotobukiya panel at Comic-Con this year, I'll ask them some questions. I'll throw that up on the YouTube account as well. Anyway, whoever is responsible for refining the design really knocked it out of the park on this one. I really appreciate all the changes they made from the original design. So there's the original design there. Not a world of difference, but the face is a lot different now. The angle of the hips is different. On this one, they're kind of rolling up to the left. This one, they're kind of more rolling under to the right. Kind of like in the statue version, she's kind of taking a step forward. She's like mid-stride. And in the illustration, she's a little bit more planted. Like that's a stance she's taking. I don't know if one's necessarily much better than the other, but I do like this pose. I do like that line. It kind of curves down the arch of her back and then down the back of her leg. This I guess it'd be her right leg is straight for the most part. It's got a little bend to it, but you can see there's a difference between the box there. Oh, so let's take a look at the box real quick. So let's get a nice close-up of the art here. Not bad by any means, but I really do feel like the figure came out better. Shunya's the man, everyone knows that, right? If you don't know, now you know. So there she is, still getting washed out. There you go. There's the illustration, the description. Let's get that in frame so you can read that if you so choose. And then the bottom of the box here, kind of all the credits are. Who knows what any of this says, but I do notice this down here. Gil across the board. And Gil, the sculptor, the painter, seems to be the go-to guy at this point. Because everything he's done so far I've really appreciated. He's great. Hopefully they keep him around for a while, because he just keeps getting better. Sorry for all the shakies. Actually, let's get kind of a little different pose here. Alright, so man, there's a few things to go over with her. The sculpt, I love the sculpt. There's so much detail in the armor. There's a kind of a clear glossy wash that settles into all the grooves that really makes all of the detail of the armor pop. This is not something that you see done very often in plastic molds, but it really goes a long way to bringing out all the good details. I wish Transformers would take a lesson from that and do something like that in the molds of some of the figures. That would make my day. Man, that thing just does not want to show. Her face doesn't want to show up. Anyway. Now, mine doesn't really have any blemishes. There are a couple of little things that I might nitpick about, all regarding her head, all of which is easily forgiven, though, and I'll get to that in just a second, but try to get this right. Let's get her face to look a little less washed out. Yeah. Let's get it off this thing. Alright, so here we go. Her hair, a couple of little things. There's a section of her hair that's just clearly added on. You gotta imagine there's some way to smooth that over. You can see where it's just kind of stuck on there. That seems, I don't know, that seems inappropriate. I don't know how that's necessary, but... And then mine's got a kind of some spots of glue there on the seam. That damn seam keeps popping up on countless numbers of Bishoujo where the front of the hair attaches to the back. I don't know why they can't cut that into one of the hairlines or behind like a fold of hair, but there it is again. And then this one has some glue exposed there. You can see the shiny glue parts. Also this little sprig of hair on the top of her head has it at the base as well. Not a big deal. And I'll get over it, you know. Very great. Very great. Her face sculpt and paint is like top notch. She's very cute. Got her, nice green eyes. She does have this kind of her lips are glossy, but they're also kind of metallic. Like she's got some kind of a metallic lipstick on. Pretty cool. Her N7 armor is all done extremely well. Probably the best part of the best feature of this figure is the sculpt and the paint in it. Just top notch. But my favorite part of this figure, hands down, easily, is the fact that she has an articulated head. that you can move her neck around. Her neck and head are one. There's a ball joint at the base of her neck. So the neck and the head are one sculpt. There's no joint there between her head and neck, but at the base of her neck, you have this ball joint. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you, but let me see if I can get my flashlight in there, if we can get a good look. My weird blue flashlight. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. A little bit. There's a clear plastic ball that rests inside of her chest there at the base of her neck, which is just it's going to be hard to go back to Bishoujo's without this, but her sculpt and her armor and everything kind of allow for it. Hopefully they do this whenever possible, because having just this articulation adds so much more to the figure. You know, you can kind of get a lot of different expression or attitude, feeling maybe. I'm not sure what exactly to call it, but there's definitely a difference between this, right, and that. To me, it's very appreciable, the difference between them. Even this and this, to me, is much different. But I love that this is articulated. First articulation on any Bishoujo. Hopefully we get to see more of it in the future. So her head doesn't rotate very far to her left. That's about as far as it goes. I would have liked it to go a little bit further, so maybe she can look over this shoulder. But it's just not really molded that way. She does have like an angle to her head already. You know, there's the center of her neck. She's already kind of looking off to her right. So, I don't know, there's not much leeway to go that way. But she can look to her right to about there. So there she is, looking over her shoulder. Very cool. Like, I'm very happy that they decided to do this. I mean, like I say, big difference to me between this and that. I much prefer that. I'm sorry her face keeps washing out here. Let's get a nice close-up of her face here. There is some hue, like she has a little bit of makeup or something, some kind of she's got more color in the center of her face than around the outside of her cheeks. The eyes, green. I'm a sucker for black hair and green eyes. That's quite a combo. Her eyebrows, eyelashes, her eyelids, all that stuff, all done very well. Ears are there. They're nothing crazy. This one kind of one sticks out a little bit more than the other, but that's fine. That's very Shunya Yamashita-esque, if you ask me. The more I look at this figure, the more I really like it. There's a definite kind of juxtaposition between her really, cute Shunya-esque face and the rest of the N7 armor. So this figure, this Bioware edition, comes with the Eagle, the N7 Eagle pistol. So there it is. You can see here her arm or her hand is a slotted tab, so there's no articulation out of it. Once it's placed in there, it stays. Although I guess you could round it off if you really wanted to. You could probably make that happen so that she can hold it like a G. You know what I mean? Yeah. Pretty cool. I dig the pistol. When I get the other version, I'll do a comparison between the two and see what's better, the pistol or the Argus rifle. I'm guessing the rifle's probably a little cooler, but I really dig this version. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd go with this one. But I'm not going to pick, and you can't make me. I've got the other version of her on the way, along with JC from Tekken. Those two reviews will be coming as soon as possible, probably next week. about a week from now. They're on their way now. They just shipped today from Big Bad Toy Store. So stay tuned for that. Let's do a quick size comparison. Let's take her off of this rotating display because that's going to queer the deal a little bit. There she is with Miss Marvel. Of course, this is a mismatch. Miss Marvel is the largest Bishoujo. Still listed at 1/7. Everyone knows it's 1/6 at this point. And then kind of the other serious Bishoujo, the one that's, I don't know, still cute in my book, but not, but a little more serious, is X-23. I don't really use her very much for size comparisons because she's, you know, on one knee. But you can see that these two are clearly in scale together. And there's X-23. X-23 is still, the X-23 X-Force version, still my favorite Bishoujo, yet it really feels like a love letter to me from Koto. Oops. They knew that this is what I wanted more than anything. And I just can't get this to not wash out. I apologize for that. I almost had it there. Anyway, thanks for checking me out. I have a suspicion that if you're watching this video, you may be checking this out just because it's Commander Shepard. You may not know what Bishoujo is or what Kotobukiya does, but there's a lot of these Bishoujo statues, a lot of Marvel DC characters and all of that. If you think this one's cool, check out the rest. It's a really great line. I love that they do this line and that it's going strong, and it seems like it has no signs of stopping anytime soon, which is great. I mean, there's lots of opportunities still. I hope that they are able to get a Darkstalkers license. I would love to see some Morgan and Felicia and all the rest of that cast of characters. You know, the list goes on and on. I mean, there's so many different characters to get into. Hopefully they acquire some more licenses that they'll announce at Comic-Con. Still can't wait for Chun-Li, the rest of the Street Fighter stuff. Hopefully they do. Like I've said before, if they do every Street Fighter female, I will buy each one of them. I'm really stoked about the Street Fighter stuff. So, anywho, check out my other videos. Give me a thumbs up, comment. I dig the comments. I like interacting with you guys. So leave me comments and thumbs up, sub, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for the rest. And thanks for checking me out. Peace. Selfies.